Hello and welcome to Keep Hope Alive podcast. I'm so glad you guys are here. We have another great show for you. I got Miss Sally Ann with Heaven's Light Wellness with us. Welcome to Keep Hope Alive.
Hey,
We
Dee,
are
how
about to
are
take,
you?
I know, right? She is so talented, guys. I can't wait to dive into her story. But really, really quick, Sally Ann, how many weddings have you been to in the last 15 years?
Oh my gosh, 15 years. Well, I have two coming up just this week. So, last 15 years, probably eight or nine. I'm
Okay.
at that age, when my friends' children are getting married. So, and a
I'm
couple
at
other
that age
marriages.
too.
It's pretty fabulous.
My daughter, I was like hoping she would be getting married soon, but it went opposite. But it's just like, okay, we're having the baby first and then getting married. It is what it is. But they've been together for what, like 6 years. So I'm gonna be a grandma this year. Not Gigi. I want to be a Gigi this year. So
Yeah, congratulations. As long as there's love, right? We're good.
there's love, light, and life. So that's the best thing. So, when you go to these weddings, okay, if it's at a church or outdoors, usually people have to sign this one thing if you're a guest. What is it that you sign?
The guest book.
That is awesome. You won. I'm not kidding. I had one person say their life away, and I just giggled and laughed. So I leave that as an open-ended question because I just love hearing the responses and everything. Well, lifeonrecord.com is one of our biggest sponsors here. And what they do is no more guest book. They have a vintage rotary phone that they bring it out for your guests to come and pick up the phone and leave a message and be like, congratulations. We're so happy for the two of you, or it could be a groomsman. Dude, it's about time you put a ring on her finger. You can have so much fun with it. I call it the voice of, yeah, I'm sorry, the gift is voice of hearing your friends and family talk about yourself and your big accomplishments. And I think this can not only be used for weddings, but so many different events. Now, right next to the phone, they do have a QR code scan. So you can take out your mobile device and you scan it, leave a message, I guess, either after or before the wedding, too. And then once all of those voices get collected, they will burn it either on a 12-inch vinyl record or burn it on their keepsake speaker. And I call it the little boom box. It's really cute. Now you get this phone number for 1 year. You have to return the phone though. But the phone number doesn't go anywhere. So like, let's say it's 2 months before your 1 year anniversary and you tell your friends, hey, I still got that number. Do you want to leave me a funny message? And they can do that and they'll get burned on there again. So it's such a fun concept. To learn more about Life on Record, please visit them at www.lifeonrecord.com. So, biggest question to start out with, who is Sally Ann?
Oh gosh. Well, I would. I'm a mother, I'm a shower singer, I'm a clairvoyant and an energy healer and a lover of people with like this really strong mission to touch 10 million people in a positive way to help them live their best life.
That is so cool. I love that. I use that. I'm a shower singer. Nobody really says that. That's, hey, I sing in the car, sing in the shower. That's who I am. I have to throw in sometimes because I love singing too. Like, I should put it on my resume. I go to karaoke. I love to sing. But
That's
definitely. So I can tell your energy is nice, beautiful, and big, and you have a lot of knowledge behind you. So, I mean, right now, with learning everything that you are and have done, what age did I guess this come to light to you and say, hey, I got this gift?
So really, I got this gift when I was in my early 20s. I've been doing this a long time, almost 4 decades. And it was really interesting how it kind of came about because I was in college and I loved college. I loved my college experience and I always did. And I was in a restaurant with some of my girlfriends. It was a Friday night. And I looked across the restaurant and there was a gentleman that was standing in a very strange position, not something I would normally stand in, like where his hands were. It was a very different position. And I remember feeling so sad and so despondent and just like, oh, like icky. And I knew that's not how I authentically felt. And so I kind of like had a little moment and ran back to the dorm room and had to call my mother on the phone. Yes, this is before cell phones. And I called her and just said, Mom, you have to come pick me up. I'm having a nervous breakdown. I just know it because, you know, when you're 19, you know everything. And
Mhm.
and she's like, tell me what's going on. So I started telling her, and she was very offhanded about it. She's like, ugh, you're fine. You're just psychic. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? And it just never had a name. I mean, my whole life growing up, my mother would pick up the phone and know who was on it. You know, before caller ID, before like a plan to call. And my grandmother, you, oh, my grandmother, she would say, I had a dream and this happened. And don't do this because this is going to happen. And then, you know, 2 days later, you're 22 and you're out and you're running around. And guess what? It happens. And you go out and you do it. And she slaps you on the top of the head and says, don't do it again. And then 3 days later, she tells you, oh my gosh, I had this dream. Don't do this. And then you learn, oh, I'm not going to do that because what she's going to say is true. So it was just always part of my life, but it never had a name. So I, you know, you only know what you know when you're young.
Yeah,
And then really I was able to get into some training to understand what was happening to me, to understand that it's a gift that I was given and it's my job to use it for the right responsibility.
exactly. That's how I feel. Like my mom always told me, oh, it's just ESP. And I was like, well, what is that? You know, and I have these dreams that would always come to me and it would be so blown out and it would really happen. And I remember telling my cousin, don't go because it's scuba dive. I go, don't go. You're going to get hit by a boat. He goes, I almost did the other day. It missed me by that much. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then I hate the ones when I have somebody's health and I knew it was my aunt and I knew it was a blood disease thing that was going to hit her. And I felt like so much pressure. Do I say something or not say anything? I decided to say something. And, you know, of course, being judged by family, oh, that's not right. That I don't know what's wrong with my daughter and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, she's passed on. It was a blood disease. So, I mean, I don't know. It's like I appreciate the gift and want to use it for the right reasons, but sometimes I'm at the point I don't want to know. Like,
Yeah,
so,
no, I totally get that. So for
yeah,
a
and I
long
don't know,
time,
like when we dream of ourselves, you know, that's one of the things that scares me. When I was younger, I had a dream, you're only going to live to this age. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm 4 years away. I'm like, okay, let's live the best life for the next 4 years. So
I,
I don't know. I don't know. But, you know, with everything that you do, when people come to you, what is it that you most help them with?
well, let's see. So I am a clairvoyant, so a psychic medium, but I get my messages through many different ways, mostly empathic, you know, where that word didn't exist,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, didn't even exist like 40 years ago. So I say a lot, it feels this way. You know, I don't know how it feels purple, but I see purple. Um, and I'm also a Reiki master teacher, so I do a lot of energy healing as well. And I think that a lot of people come to me when they feel like they need confirmation. I feel like a lot of people come and they say, I think I kind of knew that, but I just needed to hear it. And the reality is, I'm just their telephone. I'm talking to their guardian angels. They give me permission to talk to their angels. And so their guardian angels are just telling them what they need to do, or
Yeah.
the opportunity, right? We have free will. God gives us free will. We get to do whatever we really want, knowing that there's things that could change down the line. See, I'm really linear, so I'm talking like this.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people just feel confirmation and feel more confident about themselves and trust their intuition more, which, is the biggest gift. If you could help somebody trust what they know in their hearts or hear with their third eye and feel about themselves, you can empower them to live like this such beautiful, beautiful life
Yeah.
that opens amazing doors for them and for the people that love them. And I think, wow, if I can do that for others, then, I'm living my best life.
You see, and then you got those people out there going, "Oh, that's not true. Don't, and I'm gonna tell the world it is true. It is
Yeah,
true. You gotta listen here. Be
can't
open
make
to
this
it
up.
because
You just can't.
yeah,
You can't
you
make this
can't.
stuff up, right? Like,
I can't. Like, I had to go through some, spiritual journey, and that happened for months and months. And I was like, there is no way anybody could ever make this up. These things are real. But I also wonder for the people who are so judgmental on it, has it already happened to them? And they just don't want to talk about it because they are afraid of being seen or what another person would think of them. And but if I go to church every Sunday. We talk about spiritual gifts. And when I'm here doing the podcast, I can sit and reflect and go, these are all spiritual gifts given to every single person. We're all human. We harness different qualities and traits with us, and we can help somebody out there. My friend, before she passed away, we would talk, it's like a total of 5 years, about wanting to be heard by people, like whether it was a relationship, our family, our kids, the doctors are not hearing what really hurts and stuff. We just wanted to be heard. So when I started Keep Hope Alive, there's a segment to be heard. And this is helping people get things out into the open with whatever topic it may be. It could be health. Maybe it's their profession in life, how they help. I had a lady talk about aliens, it's just different. I have somebody who's coming on, I'm looking forward, but how to make the climate better. So there's so many things that go on in this world that where I know I'd be seeking out your services right away, going, hey, especially with my health challenges and I'd be like, I need to do a consultation with you really quick because, and I may not say anything. I'm going to be like, use your Reiki on me, figure this out.
and that's okay. That's how a lot of people come to me and sit across from me. And I'm okay with that because I'm still a little cynical. I mean, I have been doing this a really long time. I have seen thousands and thousands of clients. And the reality is that everybody has their own reality. And so I'm okay with, like, let me prove it to myself so I can prove it to you. Right.
Yeah.
It's so important because then it's not authentic and it can't help. If you don't believe it, then it doesn't help. Years ago, I always used to say, I don't advertise, right? And
Mhm.
I think now people just know my name and things go out there, right? But I don't, I never did paid advertising because I wanted people to come to me when it was the best thing for them. And I cannot tell you how many clients have said, I got this one woman said, okay, I got your card from 3 different people that don't even know each other. So I think I should show up. And I'm like, okay, that's a message, right? These are these
Yes.
beautiful little angel whispers that we get throughout our life. Sometimes people say, I got your card and I've moved it around my desk in my house for 6 months and I'm calling now. I'm like, well, now is when you need to hear it. Right. So
Yeah.
it's like, there's no, there's no such thing as coincidence. Like it happens when it's supposed to happen.
Yeah, and I always said, like, as a photographer, I don't want to advertise because my clients will find me. And if it's word of mouth, that's great. You know, Facebook has helped me over the times like, hey, graduation's coming up, you know, you need people. The pictures of your kids, you know, for their senior years. But I've been lucky to also walk into the right place at the right time. I remember I got a brand new lens and I went out to where I do photo shoots in Allen, but there was a Boy Scout group cleaning up the like little river place and taking all the trash. And I was like, you know, I'm not going to say anything, but I'm going to do a secret photo shoot because my lens goes up here. And I went over to the scoutmaster and I said, listen, my name is Nadine. I am a photographer. My company's name is this. I am giving all the pictures I took of the kids cleaning up this beautiful park free. They're like, really? I go, yes, this is a special moment. You did something great. You know, you helped nature. But in the long term, like people who are taking pictures professionally and taking them out there. We want to have a cleaned area too. So it was just amazing how that pedestal didn't help somebody out too. So, but yeah, definitely. Now, talking about Reiki, I mean, there's some people who understand that term, and then there's some people who are like, what is that? Do you just put hands on people? Can you explain it a little bit better for the people who don't know?
Oh, yeah, I'd be honored to do that. So, Reiki really means life's force, life's energy, Rei and Ki. It is a form of healing modality. It is mostly hands-on. I actually practice the Boson technique, so I don't actually ever touch anybody. It's all above. And so, what happens is um, loving light comes through my head and out my hands. So, my hands get warm. And the concept is to balance you, to bring as much energy into the seven chakras of your body. So this way you're balanced because each chakra represents our humanness, either emotional or physical, and how they all function together. So when you're in balance, and I say no one's ever 100% in balance, except for maybe like some monks in the Himalayas, right? Because that's all they do is focus on balance. Not being in balance teaches us about what we need to do for our lives. It's not a bad thing to not be in balance. However, when we're really stuck or we focus too much on one thing, that doesn't give us balance. And then that will affect our energy centers of our body. So with Reiki, and when you come to see me or on the phone, I'm able to go and see, because I'm clairvoyant, so I can actually see all your energy centers, how they're functioning. I want them to be rotating at the same speed, at the same time, because once that becomes all in balance, body becomes in balance, and then you have overall health. So you feel better because the front chakras affect emotion and the back chakras affect your physical well-being. So if we talk about chronic pain, I can actually look at your chronic pain and understand why you have it. And yes, maybe you worked out really hard at the gym, or you were picking up trash, or you moved furniture. Yes. But when you have persistent pain and it's always there and you like live with it, there's an emotional reason that it's there. And sometimes it builds up over years, and sometimes it hits right away. So part of that can be cured with Reiki. I mean, it's a process. It's typically not one and done, though I had a client just the other day and we were talking, and I was working on him before I put him on the health table, the therapeutic table. And he's like, are you gonna believe me if I tell you that it already feels better? And I was like, yeah, no, I totally believe you. I've been working on you while we're talking about this. Yes, I can see that the emphasis is less, that your body is healing already. So it's just
Yeah.
a really amazing process that can happen. Um, and I can do it long distance. So yes, I am a Reiki master teacher. I've been doing energy work for 40 years, Reiki since 2006, I believe. And it was just a different form of energy work that I learned that had a following, had like a name instead of just energy work. Because, 20 years ago, people were like, what's that? I don't understand. Like, are you moving things with your brain? And I'm like, well, kind of, but you can't see it, right? So I'm just really honored to be able to have the Reiki symbols and be able to utilize them. And once a year, I do a 4-day course. It's coming up in March, but it's a 4-day course to learn Reiki 1 and 2 and become a practitioner. And there's lots of other courses out
Oh.
there.
Hmm.
I really want to make sure you walk away feeling confident. You walk away being able to actually do it, be a practitioner for others or yourself. So there's a lot of practice. There's a lot of feelings going on, right? How does it
Yeah,
feel? Do I feel like I'm doing this right? How does this person's energy feel compared to this person's energy? I think it's so important that you can understand how energy can ebb and flow from different people and feel different things to you. So the course is totally part of my heart work. And it's, exciting that we're able to do that. We have worked to have it now certified for CEU credits for masseuses and other hands-on
good.
practitioners. We're working to get it accredited for CEU credits for, like first responders and nurses aides and other things. So this way, the mainstream, right? People who are
Yeah,
caregiving all the time can do this for themselves. So, but let's not also forget the parents. Like I caregive my children, and sometimes I feel depleted. So it's really something that just
hmm,
about anyone that loves someone, either at personal or at work, can really do or experience. And if you don't have 4 days to do this for yourself, then seek out a Reiki master, a Reiki practitioner that like resonates with you. Yes, I'd love it to be me, but it doesn't have to be me. If you find someone that you love, then do that for yourself. Like get that
yeah.
energy, get unstuck, like feel balanced and love yourself. Like I think that's the first thing that goes
That
sometimes. So
is the first step. Yeah, I
yeah,
teach that even in relationship coaching. You got to understand who you are as a person and love yourself before you can give to others, you know?
absolutely.
But setting up boundaries is another thing. And, I think I tried Reiki once, but it was many, many years ago. And I've also tried meditation, and meditation was so beautiful. There is a difference when you're like, I want to call it the biggest prayer you're ever going to take, but it's more visual and you see it and you can see how it works. Where nothing bad about churches or anything. Every Sunday, I go to my church and I pray, and you can feel the energy from everybody in there, and it's a great feeling. So, having that, I came to terms about a couple weeks ago, just with everything going on. I was like, I want to go learn more about Reiki. I want to go and see if they have the meditation classes. But where I used to go, it all stopped. It went away. And I'm like, why? Like in my head, why? I needed this so bad. So it's like a start over point here in Texas. Where can I go now? But definitely being able to do Reiki, people have told me this actually really helped me and really, really works. And I used to work for a chiropractor before, but it's amazing how sometimes people with illnesses or something really wrong will go to their family doctor or ER and they're like, yeah, we did the x-rays, but we don't see anything, but you're in excruciating pain. I'm going to use me as an example. I had a decompression done wrong in my back, but I didn't know what was going on. My pain level was above a 10. I couldn't breathe. And then I went to go see my new family doctor, and it's like, yeah, we need to talk. You need to go see a psychiatrist. And I'm like, why? Like, why? This pain is real. Like, what is going on? And she's like, yeah, I saw your x-rays. There's nothing there. And I was like, what? I said, get out of my way. No. I'm not gonna choose to listen to you who's telling me I need a psychiatrist. And it turns out that I went to go see, they had the what is it, CBD place. And
Mhm.
they said, well, try this. And I was like, okay. And then he goes, "Shh, don't tell anybody, but go to a chiropractor. And the chiropractor did her own x-ray, and I remember she put it up in front of me and took a pencil and circled with an arrow. She goes, go find a doctor fast. And I went into a back and neck surgeon doctor, and he's like, we need to see you now. And surgery was that week. So this other doctor who did that decompression did it wrong. So maybe one day that doctor will be watching the show. I don't need to go to a psychiatrist. So,
Mm.
but pain is pain. And when people come to you, say, help me, it hurts. It's the invisible illness. I could be at a 10, but I may not be crying. I know this morning I had pain that was higher in a 10 and I was crying. I couldn't feel my whole inside of my body. And I was just like, okay, I gotta quickly get to the hospital. And then I was like, okay, now I can't. I gotta get back because I forgot my medication. And I've just been all over the place, but I got told, hey, watch over yourself. You got this that needs to be corrected. But with people that come and find you and you do the Reiki, how many sessions of Reiki do they actually need
I like to say 4 is a really good
for?
average. Some people, and you'll feel difference right after one, right? So we do offer just one session on the website, but there's a 4-pack on there too, because that's what
Okay.
we're finding is people were really coming back for 3 or 4 before they felt like, okay, I'm dancing out of here. So we just wanted to make it easier but for them to heal. Some people have bigger issues and they come longer, but I would say 4 is a great average.
That is really good to know. So definitely. And it's so wonderful. I love Heaven's Light Wellness. How did you come up with that name? I love hearing the story of those things.
It's so here's the crazy story about that. I was working out with like my kids. Like we would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, go work out for 2.5 hours with this group. And there was a gentleman, his name's Keith, and he would run the group. And um, one day we were talking, and I was like, I think there's more. I need more. Um, so about 10 years ago, I left the corporate world. I was doing all this work in the corporate world and
Mm-hmm.
just on the side for friends and stuff. And then 8 years ago, almost 10 years ago, I left the corporate world and decided to do this 100% of the time. I say, God pushed me around so this way I couldn't ignore him anymore. And my
I
college
like that.
friends were like, yeah, you should have did this 10 years ago. I'm like, oh, I waited, and he didn't want to have me wait anymore. Um, and so it was actually about a year before that happened, because I was just telling Colleen that when I printed my first business cards, I actually ordered them. It was 1 year exactly to the date that I had designed them. So they were sitting there. So I was working out with this group of people, and we were talking about, like the things you talk about on Sunday morning at 7 o'clock in the morning. What's your heart's desire? What's your heart work? What do you love to do? And I was like, I love what I did in the corporate world, but I felt like I need to do it for others on a mass scale.
Yeah.
And I always say, I hear angels. I'm always about angels. I have giant angel wings in my office. Like it's always about angels. And one of the guys said something, I don't even know what he said about angels. It was like, oh, is it angles or angels? And I was like, what? And it was like how he spelt it. And I was like, oh, so my little marketing brain was like, huh, okay. So we were driving home and I
Hmm.
thought, wow, I really get the light, right? So the Reiki energy all comes, it's all heaven sent that comes through my head. So it's like, wow, it's really about heaven's light. It's the light that comes into me.
It
It's
is.
heaven's light. And so Heaven's Light Wellness was just born literally like, at the crack of crazy, coming home from the gym on a Sunday morning. And and so that's how it came up. So Heaven's Light Wellness. And then it was by Sally Ann, because if somebody else wants to do this for me, my son is very, very gifted. So if he wanted to do it, he would bring in his light and his love, it'd be by Sally.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So
I,
really,
I for like business names, like my company for photography was Beyond or Sight Photography. Because, I would capture things that not the normal photographer might catch. And it's just been interesting. And yes, have I had haunted pictures? Yes, I have. And I'll
yeah, I
just look
believe
at
it.
it going, how did this happen? But we took one man's face as a different person totally. And we were just outside in nature. And I was like, oh, did somebody not make it in that tunnel? Like I was like, they were trying to be in the picture and say, hey, we're here, you know. But those things I
Exactly.
try not to dive into too much, but definitely. So, really quickly, I have just another question for you, really quick. Have you ever seen these bands? I have a black one called Hope and a pink one that says Faith. Have you seen those yet?
I love them. I want to buy some.
Okay, awesome. Well, these are called snap bands, and right now you probably see a lot of them on Facebook. This one with the word faith is a special addition to their brand. You can only get it with promo code KHA, Keep Hope Alive. So, but definitely. So, in this world, it's a stressful place for everyone. So with work, school relationships, health issues, finances, and nightly news, there's the anxiety every day. Negative thoughts can go popping into our head over and over again. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy of anyone loving me. Bad things always happen to me. If you ever had these types of thoughts, you are not alone. More than 40 million Americans are diagnosed with an anxiety disorder. Anxieties, worries, and fears can stop you from finding inner peace and achieving your true potential. You deserve to live your best life. Finally, there is an amazing new bracelet called Snap Bands that was invented to help you reduce anxiety, control OCD, and calm stress. Snap Bands are cognitive behavioral therapy tool based on proven brain neuroscience. And the way Snap Bands works is amazing. So I'm going to bring this up. Snap Bands bracelets look like a stylish piece of jewelry on your wrist, but its unique design actually hides a secret elastic band that sits right on your inner wrist, which is a pressure point for your brain's nervous system. When you give that elastic a light tug, you'll feel a very gentle, soft vibration on your inner wrist. A gentle physical sensation is all you need to reduce anxiety, and here's why. Did you know that the human brain can only deal with one emergency at a time? Well, whenever you feel an unwanted negative thought in your head, gently snap the elastic on your inner wrist, and it forces your brain to focus on the gentle physical sensation you feel, which instantly disrupts an unwanted negative thought from your brain. This gives you the freedom to reset your mind with a positive mental focus. They're mantra words. They have 7 of them, but I say 8 now because faith included if you use that one. But there's 7 different mantra words are believe, blessing, dream, fearless, hope, love, and peace. So when you are snapping your band, try saying, I believe in myself. I am a blessing. I am fearless. I will always have hope. So with snap bands, you can secretly snap away and nobody has to see you do it. I know I did mine when I was at the hospital. Please let this nurse get me on the first try of my IV. That was one of my first. So, but they come in all different colors with the different mantra words. They are adorable. They can go in water. I do the dishes. I will take my shower in these and everything. They are made out of vegan leather. So if you have sensitive skin, it won't interfere with that. So when you go to their website at www.snapbands.com, which is spelled out SNAPPBANDZ.com, and if you purchase one, they actually give a percentage back to one of the leading mental, organizations to help out. So kudos to them. And I love mine. I know you'll see them all over Facebook. So, but check them out. Remember, KHA is the code for faith. But let's get right back with you, Sally Ann. So, I mean, with your book, and I'm going to say you have more than just one. Tell us about the process of getting into those books.
Well, it's really interesting because it really started with angel cards. So I'm the author of a deck of angel cards. There's 62 different messages, and they're not tarot cards. They actually give you a message, a positive affirmation that you need to hear that day. And it's funny because when I first did, I was like, oh, this is something I want to do. So I would think of things and write it in my little phone. And one day I wrote them all down and I looked at them and I was like, wrong. These are all wrong. You erase the whole file and threw them away. It was 4 months of like gathering thoughts. And about like 3 days later, I just woke up and I was like, I'm going to go to the computer. And just, they were total angel whispers, just started typing in these things.
Yeah.
And that's how the angel deck really happened. So it was inspired by them with those angel whispers, but it's also a great way for people to get these positive affirmations, like you were talking
Yeah.
about with your snap bands, to talk about yourself in a positive way, right? Because not every day we feel beautiful or we feel like we've got it or whatever those messages are. So this deck of angel cards, and the messages are all the same, but there's 5 fun different fronts. Some are angels and some are puppies. They're all, and they're all different. So so that was the first thing that I actually wrote and produced. And so you can get those on the website.
Mm-hmm.
And then we created, like, with the thought of how do we reach all these people and how do we help you change your life, we started developing other books. So one is more to do with your friends, and it's like a vision board manifestation class, but it's a workbook. It's a 18-page workbook that actually brings you through a process of what you want, what you need, what are your priorities, right? So in the 1980s, we used to do vision boards and we'd take all these photos and slap them on a piece of board. It was ginormous and you didn't know where to put it and it wound up under your bed. This is a little more organized than that. This is what are my goals? Do I want this to happen in the next 6 months, the next 5 years? So you can do multiples, but it brings you through a process. So that you can get on a download on Kindle and Amazon. That's all available. Hopefully in the next couple of months, we have produced, which I'm so proud of. It's an empowerment, gratitude workbook and journal. So there's nothing wrong with a book of 365 days that say, what am I grateful for? Mine's very different. Mine actually helps you learn utilizing your chakras, right? So
Yeah.
each section has prompts on them. So there's 18 pages of prompts. Each day has 3 prompts. So yes, what am I grateful for today? But then we ask other questions within, I'm going to call it a chapter because it's a full color book. So within that colored chapter, and it helps you start bringing positive energy into an unbalanced area of your body. Kind of like from the sly, right? Because we're starting to ask you questions that you have to think about a little differently. It's not hard. It's not a hard workbook. It's not like a ton of effort. It's just being purposeful for 5 minutes a day, 4 minutes a day. And then at the end of the chapter, you can actually answer questions about yourself in a loving way that you probably couldn't do at the beginning of the chapter.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Super proud about that. And then we have a secret coming out. And then in June, there's another book coming out. And, I thought, oh, like I've been a writer my whole life, right? I thought, oh, writing a book's going to be so easy. It's not. It's
It's
hard.
not.
It's
I'm
hard and going back. Oh, it's it's amazing. So the last one this year, potentially, which will actually be the third one this year, is called
mhm.
the empowerment approach. And it's 5 techniques that we have fine-tuned over the last 10 years to help people empower themselves. Look at their lives, look at themselves in a different way so they can feel empowered, so they can live their best life, right? Because that's the goal. That's the goal, is to help as many people as possible live their best life, understand their messages, understanding the whispers, but understanding who they are and giving yourself permission, right? So this way, that catastrophic number that you just said about anxiety can be reduced next year. It is, I've seen it on the uprise with my clients over the last couple of years, and it is the new epidemic. So
Yeah.
how do we help people reduce the anxiety and the stress in their lives? Like that's the goal. How do we empower you to feel the best way you can feel? It doesn't mean you're all in nirvana, right? There we have ups and downs. A life is what life is, but it's how we approach, how we accept, how we move through the next hurdle in front of us, right? Is it really a big giant brick wall, or is it just a little bush we get to jump over? So
Yeah, exactly.
perspective.
And it's about how you take those things in life and you can change it up. Like, I know I'm getting ready to move, but I thought it was going to be more in June or July. So I was like, okay, I'm such a planner. I know I want to have a garage sale. I know I want to do this and that. But then I hear, actually, I got the date wrong. And I'm like, I'm thrown off. That's just how my brain works. But when it comes to hurdles for anybody and taking the time to realize what the hurdle is and have a game plan, because stress can cause the health issues. And I do see you where that is important. If you are doing a reading, and I love that you are the person that can relate what the spirit guide angels are saying to you. So that is amazing. And yeah, definitely I'm coming to see you. And so, but you just to
Honored.
hear that, huh?
I'd be honored. That would be awesome. I'd be honored to work with you.
Oh, yeah, definitely. They probably have a lot to say anyways. But definitely. So just being able, like if somebody wanted to come to you, what's the best social media way to find you and get these, whether you do a reading or if through Zoom and stuff like that?
Yeah, we do all of those in person, on the phone, Zoom. Heaven's Light Wellness. Just remember Heaven's Light Wellness. It's our heavenslightwellness.com, and you can schedule an appointment and understand all of our services. Heaven's Light Wellness is on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. We're everywhere. Heaven's Light Wellness. That's how you'll find me. So we're trying to make it as
Oh,
easy as possible to get the help that they need, how they need to do that. So sign up for our newsletter. You can do that right on our website. And every month we have like a new empowerment topic that we talk about. And when you get the blog or the newsletter, you'll see that that's how we resonate throughout all the social media as well. Now, you're probably going to
yeah.
see social media, a message that you need to see when you need to see it, and that's okay too.
That's really cool. And I tell anybody who's on my show, feel free to use the group page for Keep Hope Alive podcast. If you have something new, and say, hey, I was on your podcast. This is what we're doing new. I have some of the people I've interviewed do that. So we keep it afloat and keep it going so the world can see. So, which is really cool. And then plus, on the website, I have a store link, guys. So after this podcast, watch it, go find those workbooks. I know I am. I'm going to be purchasing them. I can't wait. So, I was like, I'm wanting to do a workbook. I do want to write a book. I have all this stuff in my head that I want to do. And I'm like, but where is the time? It has to be about time management all of a sudden. But you did a wonderful job getting all that done and just seeing it. I know I listen more to like audio books to learn about special gifts and what people actually can get. And is it real? That's always been my question. Is it real? Or is this just something and am I going nuts? And then I mean, I'm 46 now. I'm like, yeah, it's definitely real because I had this when I was younger and it's here now and it doesn't go away. So I'm going to benefit from my gifts and use it to my best advantage. So definitely. But definitely, I wanted to say thank you for being on our show today and everything. So I really appreciate all the topics you did cover. It was a true blessing. And really quick before I go, this wonderful podcast of Keep Hope Alive would not be anything really without our great sponsors and people watching it like you. So, as I mentioned before, we have lifeonrecord.com, your interactive guest book, as one of our sponsors. Check them out. We also talked about snapbands.com. It is your wonderful bracelets. Remember, this is KHA. They reduce anxiety, OCD. They have all different mantra words, and you can reset your focus on life and be able to breathe again. Our next one is Ogden Ventures LLC. Marcus Ogden is a former NFL player, keynote speaker, best-selling author, and podcast host. So I'm going to spell this out for you. He spells his name a little bit different, but his website is www.marcus, which is MARQUES, Ogden, OGDEN.com. Check him out. Powerful keynote speaker. He has a lot of good energy and it's like get up and start moving mentality. I love that. Our next one is Bridal Shows Inc. Miss Naomi Butler. She's been doing this for many years, running a bunch of bridal shows, having the vendors come in, showcase their work, letting couples who are planning events choose their vendors. Let them showcase what they can do for you. They have beautiful fashion shows. I think she has 5 or 6 out of the year, but check up for the latest one. I know usually at the end of July, they do one in Dallas again. So keep that on your notes. Our next one is milesandsmilesevents.com. Miss Deborah Rose. Her background is an investigator, but she does events and she does handwriting analysis and lipstick readings. She's accurate, like 100%. I've seen her in action. She's done mine, and I'm like, how'd you know that about me? So she creates herself, and no matter what the event is, she makes it special, and the guests always have fun. Our next one is Bryce Harney. Check him out at www.brycemagic.com. You've probably seen him on TV. He's a magician and mind mentalist reader. He has been doing this for a couple of years now, and he does big corporate events. I know he's been doing some church events and everything, but I would say to see some of his work on his website, once again, it's brycemagic.com, or even go on YouTube. I think he has a YouTube channel. It's amazing. Then we have richmondpunch.net. Richmond graduated from Juilliard's. He is a violinist. He's been doing this for more than 30 years. He has performed in front of 1 million people before, and also he has been on, I think it's been 2 Lifetime shows in the background playing the piano, sorry, wrong person, playing the violin. So sorry, Richmond. There was my blooper of the day. So maybe he can play the piano. But definitely check him out. He's wonderful to have at any event. Our last one is TK Hair Salon, located in Plano, Texas. So if you're coming to Texas, check them out. You can find them at www.tkhhairsalon.com. And they do men, women, children's hair. If you need coloring, perms, face done, waxing, all that, they make it fun. They are so nice there. So check them out. Remember, if you have any questions for Sally Ann or myself, you can always call 833-780-HOPE, which is 4673. And I promise any messages left for Sally Ann, I'm going to send to her, and we're going to do a quick little podcast and get those answered on the website at www.keephopealivepodcast.com. There is a place to do a voicemail there too. And I check those every day. So if you want to hear a different topic, let me know. It's an open board, it's an open show. I love it. So, other than that, wherever you guys find your podcast, you'll be able to find Keep Hope Alive. And we have a bunch of new seasons coming up. I'm so excited. More guests. Our year is finally getting booked. So, definitely. And once again, Sally Ann, thank you so, so much for being on this show. It was a true blessing.
I
So
feel the
thank you.
same way. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. So until next show, love and light, guys.